Martin Luther King Jr. was a completely made-up character created by the FBI. And I know I'm going to get so much hate for this, but you cannot deny this is not the truth because this is coming directly from the unclassified files that President Trump released. This is directly from the FBI website that is vault.fbi.gov. This is where the unclassified document on Martin Luther King Jr., his image, and his assassination is uploaded. Just in the first 5 pages, it completely reveals how Martin Luther King Jr. was selected to be the activist leader and how they pushed it through mainstream media news to create their narrative. It states right there in the middle, I know it's kind of hard to read because the files are old. It says Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was the target of an intensive campaign by the FBI to neutralize him as an effective civil rights leader. And it also says this and other testimony describing this FBI counterintelligence campaign against King reached the public through the news media. Hold on. So create a narrative, hire an actor, and then use mainstream media to program it to become the truth. This is just more confirmation that this has been their playbook the entire time. If you're not following me, I encourage you to follow me because I am going to continue to record short series to break it all down for you.
A few minutes later.
Picking up where we left off, we are talking about the files that are currently available on the FBI website related to Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. Remember, as of today, January 26, 2025, the declassified versions have not been released. Anyone that's telling you that they've read them is a liar. The next section is detailing the FBI surveillance and harassment of Dr. King. Again, this document is calling it out right at the beginning. The FBI was trying to link Dr. King and his movement to the communist movement. They wanted to make him out to be a communist. However, the agent that was investigating him pretty much said, like, no, we actually have nothing to support that he is a communist or involved with the party at all. In fact, we think he is like totally exclusively involved in his movement here in the US. In the agent's report, it literally says the report and Mr. Sullivan's synopsis showed a failure of the Communist Party in achieving any significant inroads into the Negro population in the civil rights movement. However, this was not good enough for J. Edgar Hoover. Hoover basically like gaslights everybody and it's like, hey, well, you guys also said that Fidel Castro wasn't a communist and look how that turned out. J. Edgar Hoover was a bully and completely obsessed with Martin Luther King Jr. and terrified the people that worked for him into basically altering the reports and changing the narrative to make it look like Martin Luther King Jr. was a communist and was this immoral person. The Bureau to date has no evidence whatsoever that Dr. King was ever a communist or affiliated with the Communist USA Party. The document calls out that the friction between Dr. King and Hoover was personal. Dr. King had called Hoover out for being a racist and emboldening other racists and other extreme right-wingers. Hoover did not like that. He told a bunch of reporters in 1964 that King was the most notorious liar in the country. He also made reference to him being a sexual degenerate, and he made these like public remarks. Dr. King and his team actually met with Hoover in DC and he apologized. I don't know why he apologized. I think he was just trying to like get the pressure off of him, but he did apologize for his remarks. Hoover, I think, pretended to accept them, but he did not give up on trying to discredit this man. The task force said, we believe the persistent controversy between Dr. King and Director Hoover was a major factor in the Bureau's determination to discredit Dr. King and ultimately destroy his leadership role in the civil rights movement. There it is in plain black and white. Plain black and white. It is right there. The task force lists where they actually had surveillance, where the FBI was surveilling him in his private residence, in his hotel rooms. They were listening in on his phone calls, listening in on conversations he was having with people in the room with him. So here's where I think that we get the rumors, right, on this idea that he was running around having these like wild orgies and stuff. Because they say, in a similar memo from Sullivan to Belmont recommending coverage in Milwaukee at the Schroeder Hotel, the express purpose was to gather information on entertainment in which King might be engaging similar to that uncovered at the Willard Hotel. But again, we don't know what, and it is not said in this document. The task force revealed the surveillance tapes. These are the ones that they reviewed. They also bounced those up against the transcripts that were done to validate them for accuracy. They say in this document, they were basically accurate transcriptions in the sense that what was in the transcripts was also on the tapes. However, some material on the tapes was not put on the transcripts apparently because either that portion of the recording was garbled or unclear or it was considered unimportant. Coretta Scott King says in her memoirs that a tape was mailed to her. This was supposed to be evidence of him having an affair or something. And she said when she listened to the tape, she didn't hear anything. She said it was like a bunch of background noise. It was very difficult to hear what was going on. And, you know, at the time of her writing that book, she still does not know what was said on that tape. And speaking of Coretta, Hoover also approved for them to leak information to the press that Coretta, King, and Ralph Abernathy were deliberately plotting to keep the assassination in the news by claiming a conspiracy existed in order to keep monetary contributions flowing to their benefit. So they were trying to discredit her as well. In fact, they were trying to surveil Coretta and find information about her that might be embarrassing so they could leak it to the public. The task force said the Bureau's illicit surveillance produced tapes and transcripts concerning King and many others. These may be sought by King's heirs and representatives. Worse still, they may be sought by members of the public at large under the Freedom of Information Act. We recommend that these tapes and transcripts be sealed and sent to the National Archives, and that Congress be asked to pass legislation denying any access to them, whatever, and authorizing and directing their total destruction along with the destruction of material and reports and memoranda derived from them. This document that is available on that FBI website, y'all can go look it up yourselves. It never says what's in those tapes. The only thing they give you is that the Atlanta tape was obtained from a telephone tap on the King residence and consisted of several Dr. King's conversations. These included conversations of Dr. King with his wife regarding his personal life and nothing to do with his political or civil rights activities. This is where the rumors pop up, I think, right? Like, people hear personal and they think that it's like a sex scandal thing when literally he could be talking about making a dentist appointment. I mean, it could be something so mundane and boring and uninteresting. It also could be a very private conversation between a husband and a wife that we have no business to hear about because it has nothing to do with the civil rights movement. I am not here to deify Martin Luther King Jr., okay? I'm not. I am here to just remind people that he was a human. He had a family like all of us. He had flaws like all of us. He had dreams and hopes like all of us. And I think that people are completely out of line by the rumors. Like, the fact that these rumors are still persistent today in 2025, and I see people on social media just regurgitating lies about this man that are unfounded, it's very shameful. I also want y'all to think about how you would feel if one day we just started releasing people's private emails and phone calls and text messages and DMs to the world just because everybody else is just interested in it. Regardless of whether it has anything to do with anybody else, how would you feel if you and your loved ones just had your private conversations just broadcast to the whole world, right? You would probably feel violated. Dr. King has family members that are still alive today, and I think they are owed the courtesy of having the opportunity to not only review the documents before the public is to see them, but they get to make a determination on whether or not this information should be released. And I really hope that they get that opportunity.
I don't understand how the rich and powerful in this country have managed to convince us, the working class, the ones working, that the poor people are the ones that are stealing all of the money from us, right? It's the immigrants. It's the families on welfare. It's the families that are getting state assistance and food stamps and WIC. They're stealing all of your money, right? They're not working hard as you are. They're stealing all... Not the billionaires that own all of the country, the social media platforms, the news, all the single family homes. It's the poor people that are taking it from us. Are y'all that fucking dumb? Open your eyeballs.
Was it because we tried to unify with everybody, all people of color. You want to know what they told us? Me no black. Me from the islands. Oh, they don't like our community. Oh, black people are lazy, this and that. Every time we try to reach out and be like, yo, we know what it's like to go through what you're going through. Let's unify, man. You know what I'm saying? We all got the same enemy. Let's work together. They would rather choose white person. They would rather choose that. It's crazy how all other people of color have a slur for us and we don't have a slur for them. Isn't that some crazy to think about? So now that they're going through crisis and things are finna happen in this country, right? To Latinos, to the Asians, to all of them, right? Things are finna happen to them. I mean, like, this is the fact, especially seeing the rhetoric that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the hate crimes. There is no unifying. We have literally tried. We have literally had our hand out there over and over and over again, trying to bring y'all in and try to construct a plan to fight against racism. But no, y'all chose white supremacy. They keep trying to fearmonger black people. If they do it to us, what you think they're gonna do to you? We won't be surprised. We're gonna be ready though. Y'all thought it could be y'all. While y'all was sitting there watching everything happen to black folks, sitting there like, oh, damn, that's crazy. Oh, y'all thought it could. No, there is no unity, bro. We literally tried that already. Y'all spit on us. No, everything you have came off the backs of our civil rights movements. Everything. And for y'all to disrespect us constantly, then be like, we gotta stick together. All of a sudden, we're going through crisis. No, but I do wish y'all the best.
So you mean to tell me that you got so-called Native Americans who are sitting around complaining, talking about their relatives are being deported and they are being misidentified and that they are scared and need to travel around with their tribal IDs with them? And they also said that this not them, these are their cousins that's being deported. Now I got a question. Foundation of Black Americans and Foundation of Black Americans alone. If you ain't a Foundation of Black Americans, this question is not for you. Foundation of Black Americans and Foundation of Black Americans alone. Do any of y'all got a cousin that could be deported? Any of y'all? Any? I don't speak too fast. Do any of y'all got a cousin that could be deported? And also, riddle me this. I seen a comment saying, it'll reach a point to where tribal IDs will not matter no more. History always repeats itself with a broken heart. So I'm guessing that's a Native American that left that comment. What did you mean by that? Because history repeating itself for us is still here. Bad or good, no matter which part of history you want to pull. You want to pull our creations, you want to pull out slavery, you want to pull out the way they enslaved us on our own plantation, you want to pull out anything, it's all here. What do you mean by history will repeat itself and your tribal IDs will not matter no more? It's almost like you trying to say, and I'm just trying to put two and two together because that comment, it was equaling 5. Because it's almost like you're saying that you made a deal with somebody that has crossed you before, and you're at risk of them crossing you again. But I will
tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians. And a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. When you go up to Connecticut, and you look, now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
All these immigrant groups now need Black Americans. Ain't that interesting? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Now you need us. Oh, you talked all that greasy smack about reparations. Some of you who come from the African diaspora talked all that smack. Oh, you don't need it. Just work hard. Well, tell you what. You work hard too. Okay? All right? To the Hispanic community, I mean, nothing but love for you, but a lot of you were very much anti-Black racists. Look at the LA City Council. Look at the deputy gangs who are mostly Latino-led now. Oh, happened all across the country. You look at the Asian community, model minorities. Oh, so now you're being targeted the same way that we were being targeted, and we wanted justice, we wanted compensation, and now the shoe's on the other foot. Now you need us. Ain't that some Black America? Now they need us. Ain't that?
You say that like I'm supposed to give up. Like I got a connection to all them other immigrants. That's all. They gotta be known. I'm not Black. I can't stand Black Americans. Black who? Oh, you talking about them same immigrants, right? I see some Afro, Latinos, Caribbeans, Africans, and I don't give a whoever it is. We don't care. I'm standing on business. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Black American culture has been suffering for centuries and nobody gave up. So I don't give a. Keep it. Figure it out. We tired.
I see a lot of people running in the ICE raids, and I want to share with you guys what you told us when ethnic Black Americans were struggling with the police. I want to share the same things that you told us. Please comply. Please follow the officer's instructions. You should not run at all. You should let justice and you should let the legal system handle it. The legal system will take care of that. So it's very important that you comply and do what the officers tell you to do. There should be no running.
One of the lesser known, most common recipients of DEI is white Republicans. Before you get your panties in a twist, let me explain. As I'm sure you know, the majority of rural Americans vote Republican. And I can tell you this with certainty right now, the biggest state schools in whatever state you reside in have initiatives that give priority to rural students. The vast majority of students that benefit from those initiatives are white. You don't have to sign up for these programs. It's based off of your address and the county that you live in. Students that are from these counties are also likely receiving a lot more financial aid than the average student. If you live in a state that has Appalachian counties, just go ahead and double that. This doesn't just apply to undergraduate institutions. A lot of medical schools do this as well. There's a huge need for people to practice rural medicine, and if you come from a rural county, you're more likely to stay in the area and practice medicine. So they give huge priority to students that are from rural counties. And again, if you're in a state that has Appalachian counties, they're prioritizing that too. The unfortunate reality is that most of these students don't even realize that they are the benefactors of DEI, and so when new students come to apply that come from these rural and or Appalachian counties, they're not going to get to benefit from those same initiatives. And it'll be too late. A lot of you seem to think that DEI is just for minorities and didn't realize that you were also a minority as well.
I really do want to talk about the MLK thing because that was just ridiculous, especially due to the fact that a model minority wants to just run off at the mouth and like, oh, MLK is not even real, it's a fake person, and da-da-da, I got all this proof, but you didn't really read specifically what it said. But anyways, this is the thing that I wanted to highlight to you guys, right? This is why black people can't have anything. For the longest time possible, black people have been the only ones using the terminology FBA, anything dealing with foundational and all of this stuff, right? So I went online and I just so happened to see this. This person said this: I think I'll start identifying as foundational white American, seeing as how basically every person alive on earth had part of their family in slavery at one point or another in the past. Sick of people race baiting about this BS. We are either all Americans or we aren't. Again, obviously, this is a white American who decided that they feel a certain type of way about the terminology foundational black Americans, which is crazy to me. Like I said, it don't matter what black people do. It don't matter what we create. Somehow, some way, we will make a space and they will come directly over here to tell us how it is that they feel, which is nonsensical and ridiculous. And as other people said directly in the comment section, knock yourself right on out. Go ahead and go do it. And so you think we're going to really care? We're still going to be doing what it is that we want to do. We're not about to bend the knee or kiss the ring because you feel a certain type of way because emotionally you are spoiled and you just can't comprehend that certain people just have certain things for themselves while you got the whole rest of the planet, right? So the next one is they just created a group called Foundational Latin Americans, or FLA. Their first room ever was them saying the gloves are off and they are going after FBAs. So it's FLA versus FBA. 2025 is going to be a very interesting time. And then below you see the room. I've never heard this before. Before black people started saying this, I never heard any other group directly out here trying to say any. This is reminiscent of Black Lives Matter, right? When there was Black Lives Matter, nobody else had a group or anything out there like that. Nobody else was actually caring, right? But because everybody was so mad and angry that black people had the nerve to say that their lives mattered, everybody else wanted to get in line and go against black people and everything that they were saying. Being stupid and not understanding that we're highlighting what it is that we go through, but by light of us highlighting these things, we're also casting the light onto what it is that other people have to go through as well. Even though we shouldn't have to do that because naturally everybody else's lives are already shown and cared about in the media. But again, whenever black people do something, it comes down to the effect that black people have to do it for everybody. They can't just do it for themselves. So if we have a foundation, we got foundational black Americans, it should just be foundational Americans, right? That's pretty much what everybody is saying, right? So the white American up there is pretty much saying the same thing. Then you have the Latin Americans up here saying the exact same thing. And again, to me, it's completely ridiculous. It's 100% completely ridiculous, right? And again, we're dealing with the fact that you have so many times online that people will say that, oh, black people, you don't have a culture, you don't know where you're from, all this other type of stuff. But the moment in time that we decide to pin something down and we focus in and we say that this is who we are, this is what we get. We get the exact same two groups that always pop up out of nowhere and want to start something for no reason. These are the exact same two groups that are having problems and incidences with the Trump administration at this moment in time because they voted against their own best interests. And they're still out here doing the exact same thing, not learning from what it is that they already put themselves directly into. And y'all wonder why it is that black people don't really care and why black people aren't trying to, really powwow and fight with other people and trying to get their situations together and trying to help them out. This is why. This is exactly why, because the moment in time that we want to try to just have a little bit of something, just to try to get together, just to be proud of something, here y'all come directly in our spaces, trying to co-opt and overtake what it is that we've already created and established. Y'all got y'all culture, y'all got y'all group, y'all got y'all language, y'all got y'all religion. But even with all of that, it's still not enough. Y'all got to come through and take, up until there's no more to take, and then you still look around, still try to find something else to take. This is why Black Americans say that all of y'all are on your own. You're not going to learn to understand up until you're meant to learn and understand. Like I said, this is going to be a very great and interesting 4 years. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that was listed and that I specifically talked about in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.